Michael Malone was all butthurt the other day.
He was.
Saying how everyone's talking about LeBron and the Lakers and no one's talking about Nikola Jokic and Murray and all these great stories. We're the winners, all right?
And I got to give Danny G credit. He's still fumbling around with his headphones over there, so I'll give him credit. I won't steal his lines like you do. But Danny G said...
Whose line is it anyway?
Danny G said, why does everybody care about the narrative anyway? All that matters is who's winning. Who cares about the narrative if you're winning?
But no one is talking about the Nuggets going to their first NBA championship. They've been around since 1976 in the NBA. They've been around a long time.
Bicentennial babies like me.
Yeah, so they've been around for a minute. First NBA championship yet. The narrative is what's going on with LeBron James's future. And I bring this up because it's like trying to make a video go viral. It doesn't happen when you just want it to happen. Arbitrarily, some dumb thing you do could be what goes viral.
I wanted my Lomachenko robbery video to go viral, and we're at like 40-something thousand views right now. So maybe my wishings came true. I know what you're saying, though, Rich. There's no blueprint. Yeah, you can't predict what's going to catch and what the public's going to take to and what they're not.
Some corporate guy will say, make it viral, Johnson. And you're like, you can't make something viral. The public...
Viral. You know, managers love that buzzword. Like, and then we'll go viral like it's easy.
Yeah, the public decides. You don't decide.
Make it viral.
Now, when you think about what catches, you've talked about this in the past, some of your favorite TV shows of all time. Urkel wasn't supposed to be the main character of Family Matters.
Neither was Alex P. Keaton. Neither was the Fonz.
Neither was Neil Patrick Harris, Barney Stinson on How I Met Your Mother. Sometimes a character sort of throws the show for a loop because it's like, whoa. People are more interested in the neighbor, Urkel.
Who would have thought the public would have liked this?
Got any cheese? Did I do that? You told me your sister had the Urkel doll where you pulled the string.
She had the Urkel doll.
Do you think people thought Urkel would be the star? Jaleel White?
Nobody thought that.
I remember another story. We talked
to by storm.
We talked to our buddy, and I'll name drop, our pal Josh Gad. One of the last times we talked to him was during COVID, and he tells the story. He was Olaf in Frozen. Disney put all this money and all these resources behind Tangled. Which, by the way, if you got kids, Tangled is a good movie. If you got little daughters, little sons running around.
Fantastic, though.
Mandy Moore singing songs. She's great. Tangled's a good movie. But they thought Tangled would be the big hit, and Disney thought Frozen would be like, sort of a throwaway movie.
So they had no merch.
There was no Elsa dolls. There was no Olaf stuffed snowmen.
They had to scramble because they didn't see that. They didn't see it coming. The point is there's no blueprint. You can't create a narrative.
Yeah,
the public creates the narrative.
You can't decide what fans and people are interested in. I said it yesterday. The coach of the Phoenix Mercury was all butthurt that people didn't show up to Brittany Griner's first game.
Hey, why is everybody so butthurt is my question.
You can't decide what people are interested in. So the Denver Nuggets, the coach, everyone can't be mad that people are more concerned about, all right, what now for LeBron, instead of thinking, well, what's next for the Denver Nuggets?
Well, the Heat, most likely.
Our most viral video has about 15 to 20 million views. You know what it is, Danny J?
Probably you talking about spaghetti.
Not far off, because our second most viewed video is Spot popping pimples on his nose.
And the third is Covino eating a McRib.
When the McRib came back.
I've seen that. I've seen that video.
I mean,
how dumb.
I mean, we could post, hey, Covino and Rich sit down with Tyson Fury to talk about, maybe 100,000 views or so.
Covino spit out the McRib.
The one with millions of, I'm telling you, 15, 20 million views. We still get a couple dollars here and there.
It's nice.
I bought my wife a dog. And the video of me surprising her, my wife's laying in bed, and I put the little puppy next to her on the pillow. And the puppy wakes her up, and she's like, oh, my God, we got a puppy.
Oh, my God.
Yo, if you just search Rich Gives Sarah, first thing that pops up, me giving my wife our little French bulldog.
A headache is second.
And, Ramos.
An STD is third.
Come on. I was in Vegas, Covino. I'm kidding. But Rich Gives Sarah a French bulldog. The video is 9 years old. My dog's 9. And that video, we thought that was just a video. I told our listeners, like, hey, I gave my wife, we got a dog. I put the video up. We never thought that would have 20 million views.
So if you're not following, let me get this right. What you're trying to say, what you're saying is that Michael Malone wanted the narrative to be about Jokic and Murray and the Nuggets and how great they are, and everybody knows that. And he publicly came out and was like, why is everybody talking about LeBron? Now it seems to be backfiring because now we're talking about LeBron more than ever after the Nuggets just won. So it seems like even more so that we're talking about LeBron than before. Because actually leading up to it, I think everybody was giving Jokic props. That's what we were saying. But now that LeBron seemed a little ho-hum after the loss yesterday, everyone's like, oh, man, is he going to retire? And then LeBron's saying he's still better than 95% of the league. So that becomes the story.
I'm looking around on the TVs in here, right? A replay of Speak is on FS1. On the other TV, Around the Horn. All the sports channels are on the TVs. LeBron is on every TV right now.
So
guess who's on none?
Is it okay to say then, Rich?
The Nuggets.
And he's right. Is it okay to say that LeBron creates the narrative?
LeBron.
By just being himself?
Does he create the blueprint? Because it's true.
How did he get into those reruns of Golden Girls?
He's everywhere, Spot.
He's everywhere.
I mean, that's the power of LeBron James. I mean, the Nuggets are moving on.
What did I miss? The boat rose.
And you're right. No one's talking about it. So it's almost as if
Blanche
Michael
just batted
Malone,
her eyes at him.
I know, right? Blanche.
Yeah, Blanche, stop trying to sleep with LeBron.
It's almost as if this all backfired on Michael Malone because now everybody actually is talking about LeBron the day after they just won, which is sort of unfortunate for them. But you know what else is unfortunate for them? That we have to wait until June 1st? That feels like forever right now.
I was saying this
for the
to
NBA
Danny.
Finals?
I was saying this to
dude.
Danny G. I think I mentioned it to Dan Byer as well. I mean,
that's not husky sauce. That's weak sauce.
So I think what's interesting is for the people that are hardcore sports, like we mix it up a lot with, random conversation, but I'm talking about the podcasts and shows that are straight up like NBA talk, like analytics. Like they have to preview the Nuggets and likely the Heat for a week, like 7 days of Heat Nuggets preview. That to me is like grueling. Imagine if you're like working for NBA radio or TV and it's like, what are we doing for the next 8 days?
That's like Eduardo Perez trying to extend the baseball game the other day.
Oh, did you guys see that at all, Danny? Not to be ADD radio, but that's what I do best. The Mets had a Sunday night baseball game.
This is funny.
And it was 2 hours and 6 minutes.
They had like 54 minutes of time.
You could tell that ESPN blocked out probably like close to 2.5, 3 hours. They're like, Eduardo Perez, take it away.
It's Eduardo Perez. We have to fill up some airtime, so we welcome the groundskeeper. How you keep the grass so clean? Like they were just doing anything they could to fill up the time.
Eduardo,
and that's what the NBA analysts have to do till June 1st.
Eduardo, what do you think? If you had to pick your favorite dippings for chicken tenders?
I like the husky sauce, but I also like the Muncie sauce.
I like barbecue, maybe some honey mustard.
I love the helmet with the ice cream. He was just filling up time, killing time. Because they had 50-something minutes to fill because it was a very quick baseball game. That's what the NBA has to do until June 1st.
And it's not
Luckily, we get to talk nonsense.
And I think it was Bo, we were saying in the editing room the other day, or Ethan, I was saying how if it were Lakers, Celtics, you could have spent a week of playing Magic Johnson, Bird highlights, Kobe, Garnett. There's a week of what now? Which is why
is LeBron going to retire?
Yeah,
what's LeBron going to do next? And I think what you're getting at, Rich, I subscribe to your theory, and I believe it. No matter what you do, you can create the greatest video, or you think you have the greatest song, or the funniest joke, or the wittiest comeback and clapback on social media. You cannot predict what's going to hit. You cannot create something that's viral just because you think it's great. There's no blueprint to what hits in the world of music, entertainment, social media. The public decides, but then there's a few people out there that do control the narrative, and one of those guys is LeBron James.
Yeah,
because if that guy has, if he's gassy today, that's a story. Hey, LeBron James is gassy today. I wonder if it has anything to do with him retiring. Because LeBron is a guy that could create the narrative.
Yeah, you and I joked about this back in the day where LeBron's the type of guy, and Danny, I know you back me up. LeBron, give me the most inconsequential thing.
You know what? I can't even think of many others that fall into that category other than like Donald Trump or something.
Like LeBron James could tweet right now.
Sandwiches. And you're like, oh my God, he must be investing in some major.
Sandwiches.
He must be investing in Jersey Mike's or something.
He's retiring. He's clearly opening a chain of sandwich shops.
I mean, he has to be. What does it mean?
Sandwiches.
It would go viral because he's powerful enough.
Is that a sneak diss at AD because AD doesn't like the same sandwiches? Like, we would
there must be trouble with the Lakers.
Yeah, reporters literally run to him the moment some big story is out there to get his 2 cents on it.
So, again, it all backfired on Michael Malone. Michael Malone's
full of bologna.
He is full of bologna. Bologna sandwiches. Because
wait, LeBron likes bologna sandwiches.
He was all mad that they were talking about the Lakers and not the Nuggets. And now today, more than ever, we're talking about LeBron and the Lakers after they just lost.
I don't think you're ever going to win going up against iconic players of sports.
No way.
For instance, he's going to be a rude awakening, too, if Miami gets there, because Jimmy Butler has been the talk of everything on that side of the other,
Yeah.
And so if Miami gets there and Jimmy Butler goes for 45 or 50 in that first game, and let's say Denver still wins, they're still probably going to be like, Jimmy Butler stays hot even in loss.
Yeah,
you ain't kidding, Ramos.
You know
You're
why,
right.
Ramos, too? The public takes a liking to certain things, people, topics, discussions. It's like, remember when ESPN was like Tebow Center? Like, Tebow's one of those guys. People just want to talk about him, even when he's doing nothing. And he's been out of the spotlight for a minute, but no matter what he did, he was all over the news. People like to talk about him.
It was Tebow Watch.
Tebow Watch. Now, again, we're watching TV, and the headline is, was this season a success for LeBron James or not? It's not about, Jokic and his season and should he have been the MVP and are they going to win it all? And is this their season? Is this their opportunity? Do they have to do it now? How are they going to size up against either, the Heat or the Celtics? It's still about LeBron because people like to talk about LeBron because he's a polarizing guy, whether you love him or hate him.
You called him what? A boring Serbian Frankenstein or something like that?
He called him a Serbian goon.
Yeah, this was weeks ago, okay, before the playoffs.
He's great, but he's not fun to talk about.
Well, and how are the NBA ratings going to be carried? Is it going to be because of Jimmy Buckets? You're talking about how grueling a week of coverage is going to be. How about getting what you wished for here? There's Laker haters. There's more specifically LeBron haters that have come out of the woodwork, and they're so happy LeBron is gone, but they would have watched the finals probably if LeBron was still there.
Yeah.
Now, are they really going to watch the Nuggets? Are they going to watch every game of the Nuggets?
You know what the public likes? The public likes polarizing characters like LeBron, but the public likes stupid, right? Which means that there might be a bright future for us. So, again, the story of Jimmy Butler being Michael Jordan's son is going to become more of a viral, fun story. It's really his son. Look, he plays with the heart of a Jordan.
You're right. Ramos nailed it too. Jimmy Butler will be the Nuggets could win the NBA Finals, but the narrative could end up being, man, Jimmy Butler got close. What heart he has.
Jimmy Butler might be the story the public seems to like.
It's not interesting.
Better.
The Nuggets aren't interesting. Even I'll be honest, it sounds so corny to say, but even their uniforms are bland. Like those mile-high blue with just the red line. Everything about the Nuggets is bland to me.
Unless, of course, you root for that team. We understand.
I don't know.
Unless you're a Nuggets fan,
listen,
we're stoked for you, but
the Denver fan base.
We're talking about the storyline that the public's going to create. And right now, it's not the Nuggets. It's still LeBron.
What Michael Malone should have said was, we're not the team. We're not the flashy team. We're not the team that people really follow, but you know what? We go out there and win, and that's all I'm worried about, is that we go out there and win. Instead, he fell into the narrative.
You're right.
He fell
Ramos.
for the narrative and went, wait,
that
look
underdog
at us.
spirit.
We're the team you should be rooting for. It's
Bro.
like,
Yes.
he made that mistake,
We
I
need
think.
to even make up a feel-good story. Be like, it all started at a Serbian orphanage where Jokic, he was a baby of size, but make up a story.
They are pushing it. I'm starting to see a lot of that on social media. It's an old viral clip of Jokic when he was a kid. He's talking about how his focus wasn't really even to be a professional NBA player. He just liked playing basketball, but he had all this talent. So they are trying to
The one
figure out
Nuggets-
what the public wants to see.
The one nugget narrative, and again, you could play with people's emotions. That's one way you could maybe slightly control the narrative.
I mean,
because
just watch American Idol.
watch
The Voice.
I don't watch those shows for the performing. Sometimes I just like the backstories. Like, oh,
Look
at
who
this.
won American Idol this season. Season 21, by the way. It was
the-
that big Hawaiian dude who sang that song Monsters
Ian Tongi.
about his
Tongi.
dad. Yeah, I think everybody saw that because they
Joe
were...
Rogan cried on his podcast watching it.
Not that he wasn't talented. Kid's super talented, but it was the story that really pulled you in where everybody sort of was rooting for that kid.
So the point we're all making is that the public controls the narrative. You can't just say
The public and LeBron.
the public,
not Michael Malone.
No, and to sort of put a little bow on this, if you want the Nuggets to have a happy, fun narrative or storyline, I sort of like the Jamal Murray one. I wish they would push that more. How when he got hurt a couple years ago, you guys saw this, right? Where he was in tears and he went to Mike Malone and he said, "I'm damaged goods. You guys going to release me and get rid of me?" And he goes, "No, you're ours." And after 2 years of hard work and rehab, he's slaying it in the playoffs. That's a nice story. He thought they were going to dump him because he got hurt.
It's a nice story.
And it said, "No, you're ours. We're keeping you."
Well, the narrative right now is if and when the Heat seal this up, can the heart of a Jimmy Butler, the fire, the passion of a Jimmy Butler and the Heat take on the masterful skill and teamwork of the Nuggets?
Dude,
it's
the
almost
third-
like hard versus
Dude.
like a really great team.
The third quarter last night was, Danny G, it was like clockwork. You must have been waiting for it because you said that no matter what, a team could get ahead, but the Nuggets just score in a way that's like,
No, there's a lot of people saying that the Lakers played really well.
Yeah.
Like they didn't play that bad. They actually played really good. There was a few people that didn't step up, but LeBron played great. The team played great. It's just the Nuggets were that good.
We called it. We talked about how they come at you in waves and
Yeah.
they do not stop. You could have a 15-point lead. It's like having a 3 to 6 point lead against any other team.
Yeah.
15 to the Nuggets is nothing because of how good they shoot from the outside. And when they want to, they can lock down their defense.
they're so good, but they're like even more boring than some of those Spurs teams that won. And my wife's from San Antonio, New Braunfels, but those Spurs teams, what was the big knock why people don't give enough credit? Because they were sort of, Tim Duncan was a star.
Sometimes that's the case, Rich. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, one of the greats,
Flashy.
wasn't one of the most fun to watch.